What's up, Team Happy and Fit? Thanks for hopping on and joining with us tonight. I'm so excited because I get to see Lauren Lundberg and Kim Meyer tomorrow in Chicago. I just think this opportunity is the greatest thing ever. My mom was just in SoCal, and don't worry, TJ, you're still a favorite. We talked about it, and where it's like you're the more loyal child, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And she watched my video I did on how you make money, or what is an MLM, how you make money as in multi-level marketing on my page. And she like came out and she goes, that was so good, so helpful. We opened up her business center, and I was like, Mom, yeah, you have about $15,000 to $20,000 of product going through your business center each week. For every $300 made as an Emerald coach, you would make $14. And she was just like, how do I, what? And it just clicked for her after she watched that video. So if you have not watched, I did 2 videos. There's a business that is shutting down their MLM called Advocare, and I explain why that is, and I explain how that doesn't affect us in any way. And I think it's just really good for you to watch it and hear my heart on it. And then 2, how you make money as an MLM. So something I've been talking about, I've just been being very blunt. Remember last week, do you own a business? Do people know you own a business, or are you owning an inspirational fitness account? Right? Or this like self-care account, whatever. I wish you could see Eric. He's creepily opening the door next to me to deliver food, so he didn't come this way, and I already made something about it. Anyway, okay. My brother speaks with us every single month, and here's the deal. It's been so helpful. I was just talking to Kim Meyer on Monday, and she was already telling me about she met with my brother, and some simple strategies had already grown her profile views by 500. I think it was something like that, Kim, right? It went from it was more?
Like 300-ish. It went from early 300s to like upper 500s, and now it's up in the upper 600s.
Yeah, so we're applying these things, and it's so good. And I've been hearing from Erica, Morgan, all these people who are implementing what he's been teaching, slow and steady, right? So anyway, he's going to talk to us tonight, and a really cool thing I'm excited to hear about is we're going into our 2.0 sections for each thing, and he's going to talk about how your social media platform can be your website. So I think it's just going to be really great. Take notes. Let's listen to him. And TJ, thanks for being on our Happy and Fit call. We really appreciate it. If you all could turn off your phones, be plugged in, take notes, and let's do this thing.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for having me again. I think this is month number 5. This is part 5 of 12 of our monthly series, where we're now finishing or starting our second cycle. So the first month, we talked about introductions to websites, understanding what they are and kind of what goes behind them and how to create them and kind of get your foot in the door. The second session, we talked about email and how to use that as an effective marketing tool. And the third one, we talked a little bit more of understanding social media platforms. I think it was like 7 or 8 that we went through, and it was really, really helpful to have a fun discussion over that. And then part 4 was the analytics and understanding what it all means and how they tie together. So I'm glad that you found that helpful. And now begins the second part of our journey. So we're going to repeat the same cycle. So today we're going to be talking about websites, but now we're going to be talking about how to increase traffic. So today we're going to talk about increasing your website traffic. Next month, we're going to talk about increasing email subscribers. And the month after that, increasing social media followers. And the month after that, understanding the analytics and how they come together. And we do it all over again. And then we go into how to sell and push product and content that go through it. So hopefully you attending this throughout the whole year, again, slow and steady, it offers a nice pace for everybody to kind of join in. So with that said, let's get going. All right. Let's share some screens. All right, here we are. Okay, so this is Marketing 201. We are talking about increasing our website traffic, just as I walked through previously. Today's agenda, the introduction and overview. We're going to talk about different types of websites. So Julianne alluded to this a little bit of maybe using your social media as a website. So we're going to kind of talk about some neat tricks and you know that there's something for everybody in this topic. Don't think that just because you don't have a website, you don't get to participate. We're going to talk about sources of traffic, where traffic is coming from. So when we're saying increasing website traffic, increasing people coming to see you and your profile views and so on, we want to understand where those sources are coming from, so you can better address how to increase them. And then last, content plus analytics equals traffic. So you're going to hear me say it a lot: analytics, 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 and understanding what your audience is doing and what your content is doing. But that's half the battle. Focusing on creating the content gets you out there, and then understanding where they come from, that's how you understand the traffic. So we'll walk a little bit through that. We'll wrap it all up and then offer a few minutes for some questions and answers if there are any. So, all right. A little bit about me, if this is your first time. Hi, I'm TJ. I'm Julianne's brother. I go by Thomas professionally, so if you ever see that, that's why you see both, but I've been doing this for a while. So if you ever have questions or anything outside the class, feel free to hit me up, and so on. All right, so different types of websites, okay? First and foremost, the traditional website. This is your standalone website. So the example would be www.mywebsite.com, right? So this is what you see most common. This is what's out there. This is what we talked about a little bit in the previous session back in January, where how you buy your domain, how you host it, what that means, some of the different packages that go through it. Here I've listed some helpful places where you can go explore how to create your own website. Some of them are a little bit easier. Some of them have a little bit different pricing packages. Again, we covered this in a previous session. So if you have any questions about, what is what means what when you're kind of getting to this journey, please feel free to reach out. Next, subdomains. Now this is kind of, this is like a free version to a website, right? So the way it works is, the way it works is if you want to be a part of like bloggers, like that's one of the original subdomain websites. So it would be yourname.bloggers.com, and it allows you to write content, create content, or whatever. That's a website. You can put whatever message you want on there and drive traffic to it. So if it's selling, if it's signing up, if it's for follow me, if it's even driving traffic somewhere else, these are great opportunities to use for websites. So back to the list that I have up here, you can see that we have Windows, WordPress, very similar to the ones that we were just looking at with the standalones. These all have free versions where you're essentially sacrificing the price. You're not paying a price, but your website's going to look a little bit different than just mywebsite.com. It might have mywebsite.bloggers, mywebsite.wordpress. They're pretty common, and you see them out in the industry. So again, if you're feeling like I don't want to commit money to this, what's the point of even having a website? We can get to that of why you want to have a website and drive traffic to it and offer a platform to engage with your audience. I mean, that's a whole different discussion, but this is a really nice tool to get yourself out there and experiment with creating content, putting it out there, using a website, driving traffic to it, and seeing what some of the results are. Third is your networks. So this would be like facebook.com/mywebsite. So in a previous session when we were talking about the social media, we talked about the difference between having a personal profile and a business profile. So, you might have your personal Instagram, but then you have your professional Instagram, and that's optional. Some people merge the two. Some people are okay with communicating kind of their day-to-day life and putting that out there. Some don't, and you don't have to show your face and all that and keep it professional. So when you create those professional profiles, consider that a website. So if you don't have your, mywebsite.com or mywebsite.bloggers.com, you don't want to even go down that route, and you just want to use your Facebook, drive traffic to it. Pretend that's your website. So when you have your marketing materials and your messaging and your emails, go ahead and put on there, here's my Facebook profile, join my group. Here's my LinkedIn, join here. Follow me on Instagram. This is what we're talking about, is using a source that, you can communicate with your audience. So I hope that makes a little bit of sense. But really, if you break it down to those three topics, those are some good options there for you. All right. So we're going to talk a little bit about sources of traffic, right? So again, we're increasing traffic. Now we want to understand, what does that mean? Okay, so we're getting more visitors, we're getting more people, we're getting more views. Like, okay, well, I don't understand. So let's just walk through the different sources of traffic, and then maybe that'll help kind of identify what we're talking about here. So first and foremost, direct traffic, all right? Direct traffic is defined as visits with no referring website. So this can be from a letterhead, an invoice, or other branded content. It could be in the footer of your email signature. So it's really anywhere that they type in the address to go to your website. So instead of clicking a link or doing something like that, you just type it in. That's what direct means. Pretty straightforward, and also some of the most common. So, all right, let me share my screen. I'm not good at this whole switching back and forth, guys. Bear with me. All right. So pro tip here is choose a single destination you want to engage with your customer and include it as often as possible in your communication. So this is what I mean by using your social media or, as your website or whatever it may be that we're talking about here. If it's a subdomain, if it's your own website, if it's a social network, just exactly what we just talked about. Whatever you decide to go with, pick one and then be consistent and try it out and just use it where you need to get by with, but offer your audience ways to engage with you and ways to find you. So include it as often as possible. Number 2, referral. Again, it's a pretty obvious, like how direct is. When a visitor follows a link from one website to another, the site of the origin is considered the referrer. So these can be other websites that have links to other websites. So here's some examples. Some friends and colleagues websites, right? So if you guys are a part of this network, and we talk about this on social media all the time. Share my profile, share my content, I'll share your stuff. We'll all work together. We're all part of the same tribe and we're all communicating the same message. So let's all be on the same page. Well, that works with websites too. So if you have a blog, throw a link in there, throw an opportunity, check out my friend, read their, they talk a little bit more of a professional lifestyle. I'm more into active and really like weight training and, getting like this. They're more into, balancing with work life and this kind of stuff. So, offer that up. And, when you promote that on your website and you include their link, and somebody on your profile or website clicks it to go to theirs, that's a referral. So when I'm saying a referral link, that's what I'm referring to from the Department of Redundancy, guys. So this could be directories, business listings. So a lot of communities, you have, local businesses, markets, farmers markets, things like that. People promote yoga and healthy lifestyles, and all these networks that you do traditionally on the ground, apply that online. So, think of where they're aggregating online. Where do they commute? Where do people find these? Is there a newsletter or something that people can go to that, a county website or something that just lists events in the areas? Get on there. Make sure your information is correct, but those are great places to get referral traffic that drives to your destination that you're using. Apps, that's a great one as well. So, there's health apps, there's forums, there's a lot of just, again, the internet, basically anywhere else refers back. The pro tip right there, forums are a great avenue to showcase your service. So most include a signature and a profile that links to your website. So if you ever use Reddit, one of the most popular social media, I don't even know if you would call it, it's social media, but one of the biggest forums of networking, you have the ability to put in there your name, who you are, what your history is, what your experience is. I've been doing this for X amount of years. I've been doing this for 10 days, whatever it is, you don't have to put that. And you can link to your website and to what you're doing. It gives you a little bit of credibility, but forums are a great place to, again, put your stuff out there. And that's kind of included as referral traffic. So, oops, not chat, share. Right, let's move on. 3, search. You hear this a lot: search optimization, search engine marketing, SEM, SEO. What does it all mean? Okay, basically 2 trains of thought: organic and paid, right? Organic is what we're talking about, is just, your basic, tips that you can do that just help you without, paying for any paid advertisements. So optimizing your structure, the page structure on the website, how your content is laid out. Those are tips that you can get into. The names of your pages, do you want to call it /1234564 fitness May 13th, whatever, no, that's confusing. Or do you want it to be /healthy and fitness, like short names of the pages that help people identify what's on that page. Optimizing the content and key phrases. This kind of goes into what people would search for and that the content that is on your website matches what they're doing. And optimizing your image names and tags. So Google essentially searches your website and your, even if you're using a subdomain or whatever, and it ranks your content. And it ranks that if somebody's searching for a certain item or product in a location, that the content on that website matches. So that's what organic search means on that end. The paid search, ad copy, keywords, you only pay per click. But these are ways to drive traffic to your website to help increase that visibility. Pro tip, contact me after class. I offer rates on custom ad groups. So if you need help writing ad copy and understanding what that is, if that's an avenue that you want to go down some paid search campaigns, I can help with that, as well as, managing the campaign and the execution and measurement and all that fun stuff there too. So remember, guys, you always have a resource for this stuff. If you're interested in this, if you're curious about how this works, I'm definitely here to help you build your business organically. But if you're ever interested in saying, hey, I have a few extra dollars here, I have $20 a month, what can I do with it? What can that go to? You can be super hyper focused with where people are searching, what they're searching for, where it's showing, how it's showing, and all that stuff. So when I'm saying the content relativity and all that, it gets complicated. I don't even know if we address this. Maybe I'll put it in the analytics section of kind of understanding that. But anyway, search is a great avenue to be found out on the web. All right, let's move on to the next slide. Social, all right. This is probably the most obvious. This is ways to drive traffic: Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. This is where you would share links to your website. If we were talking earlier about a social media platform as being your website, right? We were saying that you want to use Facebook as, your homepage. Well, how do you use other social media to drive there? Well, are you on Twitter? Hey, join my Facebook group for this information. For more recipes, go here. Are you on Instagram, where it shares the content direct? So you're already doing this stuff. You're already using social media to drive traffic to other destinations and already working together. So if you have a website or you want something where you can drive, custom content to where people can learn more or make a purchase, social media is a great avenue for it. So, man, this switching back and forth really hangs me up. All right, so some tips here. Use a photo and animation video mix. We talked about when we were talking about our social media posting, how if you post 2 photos, it gets you more impressions. It gives you another opportunity to be in people's feeds. So continue to use a photo animation mix. That applies everywhere. So, content really works well. Link and share other content. So if you have, if you're on Facebook and there's another group that you follow and they share a really cool meme that really brightened your day or, helped you get over, a rough Monday morning or whatever it may be, share it to your group. Find other content that's out there and constantly, share it. And that's what social is all about. Engage, be active, be you. Again, we focus on increasing the social media followers in an upcoming session. That's Marketing 203. That's in July. So I know you're probably chomping at the bits with lots of questions to kind of talk about, okay, if we're increasing traffic to our website, how do we do it here? But we kind of focus that on a little bit more. Again, pro tip on this one, contact me after class on rates for Instagram campaigns that drive profile visits. So, I'll give you this advice because it's what I use. Really, when you get out there on Instagram and you're trying to grow followers and people say, well, I don't want to, there's programs out there that say pay for followers, pay for these things, do all this stuff. Really, the more engagement you go and the more engagement you do and you go out there and you like locations, all the photos that are posted in a certain location that relates to you, or maybe it's a hashtag that's very similar. If the more you get out there and just put that work in, 5 minutes a day, 10 minutes a day, 15 minutes a day, whatever it may be, you'll find that reward. You'll find that people will see your profile and go, oh, this is really cool, and I'll follow. And it might only be 2 or 3 a week, but add that up to a month, and that's 10, 15. Add that up to a couple months, and now you got 30, 40, or 50. Next thing you know, by the end of the year, you got a couple hundred under your belt because you've just been constantly making it a habit to get out there and do that. So when I'm referring to the Instagram program and how that works, it's basically helping you get out there and engage and help you get out there. So if you don't have the time for that, if you feel like that's a lot of effort and you want to discuss it a little bit more, hit me up after class and we can discuss it then.
Basically what that means, like, just like dial in, it's having a system work for you so you're not doing all the work. So for everyone's busy, by the way, so like you're not more busy than someone else. It's just priorities and how you choose to do this. But a lot of coaches, they do that to drive traffic to, because you know how you're like, where do I find people? How do I find people that are like me? These ads are specifically targeted to people that are like you and your avatar. So you do that, but then TJ also has a system to where it increases your followers, profile views and things like that. But because of your content, people stay. Because of your content, people engage. Because of your content, people will take the call to action eventually, if that makes sense. But it just saves you a whole heck of a lot of time.
Yeah, it's kind of complicated to get into something on this call, but you know, Julianne, you nailed it right on the head. You know, if you can find something that works for you and you can find a return on that effort or that time or, you know, whatever it is that you're putting towards it, heck yeah, we do it all the time with, you know, an audiobook. I could sit down and read a book, or I could still get the gist of it and do it, you know, and do it this way. So, you know, we're always looking to maximize our time and our efforts, and that's what I'm here for. I'm here to offer advice and help in ways that you can save time in these things. So if you ever feel like I'm talking way too technical and way too much stuff, just throw your hands up, say, hey, you know, slow down for a minute. So, all right, let's get back to this. All right, so social, here we go. Advertising, I broke this down into 2 categories as well, digital and traditional. Digital, this is your Google display network. This is, you know, when you go to a website and you see the little banner across the top that says, click me, or maybe it's a banner for an ad that to a website that you recently visited. That's part of that Google display network. YouTube, you know, if you're looking to grow a YouTube channel and if you're looking to grow a presence out there, you can do digital advertising on that, where you find videos that are you guys all know what YouTube ads are. I don't have to explain that. Native digital ads. These are a little bit different, where they're disguised to look like an article. Often you see these as very clickbait, you know, shocking new discovery found in, you know, the coast of Australia. Click here, you know, or, you know, people dying in your area. Click here, you know, like crazy headlines that like do this. A lot of people use it for that, but what native advertising is, it means that you're placing your image and what you are to mimic the content that people are reading. So you see it a lot in paid articles and things of that nature. You have Ground Truth. That's another one that I threw in there, but that's a really cool digital advertising service that measures based on actual visits. So if you had a physical location where you wanted to know if your marketing dollar, you know, I want to find these people on their device, if it's their phone, you know, let's say it's a shopping mall or something like that, and you want to track them actually coming back to that visit. You know, that's how detailed these digital ads get, where they actually track how many visits, you know, how many people saw it and how many actually came and visited that, you know, geo-fenced area. Traditional advertising, business cards. You can find services out there that are relatively free. I think, you know, they put their logo and stuff on the back, but the other side is yours. That's a great way to drive traffic to your website or to your business. Brochures and flyers, co-hosting events, getting, you know, to be a part of local areas, you know, just get out there and, you know, get your name out there. I do digital advertising on this as well. So if you have any questions on that, hit me up. Email, last but not least. This one's pretty obvious as well. Email traffic refers to all visitors who click on the links in your newsletters and other email communications. So if you run email marketing campaigns, you should see some traffic from your email determined by your click rate. So what I mean is focus on your subject line to get them to open your email. Focus on your message and your call to action to get them to click to your destination. So we talk about that in the next session of how to get an audience, how to grow an audience, how to use email to capture that audience and maintain that audience. One thing that's different about email that I feel is very underrated is it's unique. I mean, it's a way that you can exclusively share information and content and kind of create a private network. On social media, what if there was a way that you could have a post that was to a recipe or to a workout tip or to just helpful knowledge that you want to share with your team or your network of, your customers or your audience, and you only want to shoot that social media message directly to them? Well, guess what? It's called email. You can find a way that you can directly reach them. So that's kind of, some things that we'll get into on the next section. So I hope that kind of helps, recap what we were talking about in the sources of traffic and understanding, where opportunity comes from, that it's not just from people typing it in. It's not just from people searching it. It's not from just being listed with your friends. It's not being in a directory. It's not just using, being on your social media profiles and being on business cards. It's all of this stuff together. So, when you look at these sources, you can address them all, or you could focus on certain ones. Social media. You might focus on referrals. Maybe that's something you really haven't thought about, and you're like, wow, I have a lot of friends. I have a lot of family. If they have something that's relevant, put me out there. Put my name out there. So understanding the sources of traffic to your website or your landing page or your social media profile is really helpful in understanding how to increase it. So I hope that makes a little bit of sense. All right, now we're going to get into a little bit of math. Content plus analytics equals traffic, right? So what I mean here, content creation, right? So this is the process of identifying a new topic that you want to post about and deciding which form you want that content to take, formalizing your strategy, and then actually producing it. So here's 5 steps that you're going to go through with any content that you're going to want to create. You're going to want to identify your topic. You're going to want to identify that source. Remember what we were talking about? Like, is it going to be on social media? Is it going to be in an email? Is it going to be an ad? Is it just, think about those kind of type of things. And then the call to action. What are you asking them to do? Are you asking them to come read something? Are you just share something? Are you asking them to come learn a little bit more? Are you asking them to register, fill out a form, submit a little bit of information, take a survey? All sorts of call to actions. You're actually going to produce that content, and then you're going to execute. So half the battle, right? You're going to get out there. You're going to create this content. Cool. Now what, right? Now it's out there. Now what do we got to do? Now we have to understand how that's going to come back and what that actually did for us. So that's measuring the analytics, right? So understanding your marketing analytics allows you to be more efficient and maximize your marketing efforts. So learn from your experience. All effort is good effort. Everything you're doing is you can learn from. So if you're doing something and you feel like it's not working, go back, roll the tape back, take a look at it, maybe understand a little bit about it. So here's a few areas that you can look at that might help identify the analytics of what your content is doing, okay? You can look at your visits and profile views, right? Measure that. Maybe once a week, write down, on your Instagram, how many profile visits you're getting. Just mark that number a little bit. Maybe benchmark it and just, make a little note of it. Next week, your alarm goes off again. Hey, let's take a look at the number. What is it? Wow, it went up 10. That's cool. Next week, it went down 50. Next week, it went up 100. Maybe understanding those kind of type of things and taking a look back at, did I have certain posts in there? Was it shared? Was it commented on? And those kind of type of things, all helpful information. So understanding understanding your visits and your profile views is very, very helpful information and kind of in that measuring stick of your content.
Okay.
Your source.
Can I jump?
Go ahead, Julianne. I'm sorry.
This is like, how many of you have ever put out a post that you freaking wrote from your heart? It's the most amazing thing. You like spent so much time on it, and then you get 7 likes on it. Has anyone ever been there? Like, it just is like, what the heck? So why I think this matters is because since I have mine connected to this analytics and like I can see, so I might get 59 likes on Instagram, but I can see that 400 people saw it. So it's kind of like in a profile or Facebook group, how I all got on you guys I was like, I can see 88 of you saw this post and there's 3 likes on it. Like I know, and I can actually see who you are. You can't see that in the analytics, but you can see that in the Facebook groups, right? It's kind of a similar thing. So on your business page or on your Instagram, I'm like, dang, one of my posts, I think reached 14,000 people and it had 200 likes. 200 likes is like decent, but compared to 14,000 people, do you see the difference? So then it also, I'm like, oh my gosh, people are seeing my things. I'm an observer. I'm a watcher. I kind of just like, I don't like everything. I don't comment on everything. I kind of just sit back and watch and then make the decision. So I feel like this is so important for all of you who, especially you evaluate your worth on likes and followers and comments. Please don't, but please understand there's ways of being smarter about this to where you're like, oh, literally no one is seeing my posts. I need to change this because that will tell you that. So for me, I don't care if I get 10 likes. I don't care if I get 1,000 likes. I can tell how many people are actually seeing my posts versus how many people actually do the call to action to like it, do the call to action to comment on it, do the call to action to message me, go to my website, whatever. There's way more people seeing my stuff than them doing things, but you have to remember it takes 7 exposures for someone to take action, usually. And that's usually in a one-on-one conversation, if that makes sense. So imagine how many exposures it would take for them to see your content, maybe a couple of years. So I think that that's really helpful. Thanks, TJ. I just wanted to break that down a little bit.
No, I mean, man, when we talk marketing talk, I could do this, I enjoy this. And one of those theories out there, I think we talked about in our social media session, was how Instagram is looking at potentially hiding likes and hiding some of those analytics that go to it because it's become a currency. And you begin to measure the performance of your content based on the likes that it gets. And there's so much more to it. You have 1,000 impressions. It means 1,000 impressions saw that. That means 1,000 impressions, 1,000 eyeballs saw you. Success. I don't care if they like it or not. I don't care what they do, but they saw you and it got out there. And that's the key. So when we're talking about, understanding these page views and these visits, just, it's not wrong. There's no bad. Like, it's just understanding what it is. And I think I saw in one of the comments in there, it was really, really helpful. Self-evaluation is so important with content. Self-evaluation is important, period. Stop right there. I mean, we can get onto that stuff, but understanding what you're doing and is it contributing, or are you getting better? That's half the battle. Creating the content, half the battle. Understanding what it is the other half. So let's get back to what we were talking about here. All right. So the source traffic, we covered this previously. You're not going to be able to see this for your social media profiles. You're not going to be able to see, if you use your Facebook as a destination where you want to drive traffic and you want to help grow an audience and be able to conduct business, you're not going to be able to really know, did it come from Instagram? Did it come from, my email? You're not going to be able to see some of those things. The analytics don't quite work on there. But when you look at your analytics through your website or your subdomain, your Blogger site or something like that, they do a pretty good job of understanding where that traffic is coming from and being able to help you identify which source is working. So if you see Facebook being a really good source and you're seeing that the average person that clicks on it from Facebook that goes to my website spends an average of 2 minutes on my page versus the person that clicks from my Twitter only spends 30 seconds. Okay, neither are bad. It's not wrong. But now hey, maybe I should give a little bit more love with Facebook. Now you understand where that source and where that traffic is coming to your website and be able to identify that and help that. Your location and your geo information, right? Understanding your audience. One of the things that cracks me up with Julianne, when we talk about her analytics and we get into it, I'm sorry, Julianne, I'm airing this. But when we talk about, one of my goals is I want somebody from every state. So when I'm looking at, who's visiting and where it's coming from, I'm like, I want every state. I want all 50 of them. That way I want to see, which ones go. Well, it's kind of funny because you understand that while Julianne, you live in California, you really grew your business and you sowed your roots in Milwaukee, in the Midwest. And when you look at your audience and who you engage with, California has really grown. You've really made an effort to really grow, and it's working. But that's your home, so you can start to see where your traffic is coming from. It's an obvious example that we have here. But understanding that when I'm posting something about, hey, Cali life, that only resonates with half of your audience, or cheese curds, and they might not know what that is. So those kind of type things. All right. Your page and post views. This is what we kind of talked about, very similar with your visits and profile views. This might be specific posts. So we can talk about, your profile views all overall, or you can talk about each post and how they're doing. And then conversions. Conversions doesn't have to be monetary. It doesn't have to be, did somebody make a purchase? Did somebody sign up for my email? Did somebody follow my page? Did somebody, like we talked about earlier, like my photo? Did somebody, just click a link? That could be a conversion. All these are conversions. Those are goals. So when we talk about, I'm going to back up for a second. When we talk about content creation, half the battle, you're identifying your topic, you're deciding your source, you're producing your call to action, you're getting it out there and you're executing. Other half of the battle, you're measuring your analytics, you're visiting your profiles, and you're measuring your views and where the traffic is coming from, and you know who they are, right? All right, what does that all equal? That equals increasing traffic, okay? Here's a saying that I was taught in college, and it sticks with me today. To sell Jan Smith what Jan Smith buys, you must sell Jan Smith through Jan Smith's eyes, okay? You're never going to, I'm going to be less dramatic. Just understanding your audience and understanding who they are, what they're engaging with, will help you better communicate. It'll help you better, get those conversions, get those likes, get those views, get those clicks, get those subscribers, get those followers. It all starts with traffic, right? When we talk about somebody coming to follow you, they have to visit you first. Not everybody that visits you follows you. So the more visitors that you have, the more traffic you have, the more likely you're going to get a bigger audience. You're going to get people to follow you. You're going to get people to be interested in you. You're going to get people to join you. You're going to get people to join your team, and so on and so on and so on. So it starts here. So when we say increasing traffic, increase traffic, get people to see you, engage, get out there. So here's a few tips to wrap this all up. Online directory listings, those are very helpful. Get out there and network. Search engine optimization. Just picture what people would be searching for to come to your site and make sure it makes sense. Email marketing, it's a very helpful tool. Social media networking, get out there, again, engage. And then paid advertisements. Again, if you're interested in that, hit me up. Let's see. All right, conclusion and overview. The next session, Marketing 202, we'll be talking about email subscribers. That's on June 18th. And deep breath.
Good job.
All right.
I think about this. Oh, that was so good at the end when you were like, in order for people to monetize what you're doing, they have to be able to visit you, and people who visit you don't necessarily follow you. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, oh my gosh, how many profiles do I go to without following anyone? And the whole point of doing this whole series, everyone, is to help you increase that so you can increase your business. I hope you're connecting the two, that sometimes when you're looking at people on social media, you think that they're winging it. They're not. Like, there's a lot of strategy that comes to it, and we want to break that down for you. So here's an example. So on my journey, I don't just post about my pregnancy journey, just being like, oh, I'm posting about my pregnancy journey. I have a strategy to it. For me, one, when I want someone to come to my site or my Instagram, what do I want them to see? I'm specifically targeting and talking to a certain person. So then when you think of it in like a hashtag, if someone was pregnant or going to get pregnant, like what would they want if they wanted to be healthy? What would they need to do? So this is kind of what I was thinking. Pregnancy ideas or workout ideas, right? So if I put that hashtag there, they would go to my profile and be like, oh, she's pregnant, she's fit, she's working out, I wonder what workout she's doing. Does that make sense? So that's my, like, that's a hashtag. But when I almost said Eric, when TJ's saying search engine, so like that's like a search, right? For a hashtag of like, oh, I need pregnancy workout ideas, I need postpartum workout ideas, I need busy teacher tips, right? I need organic cleaning ideas for kids or something like that. I don't know, whatever you're into, but think about the type of person that you want, what they're needing to search, and that they will find you. So that's me breaking it down through a hashtag, but this is so much bigger than a hashtag. This is like you writing your content and being found by that. So that's just my idea.
All right. Well, I mean, does anybody have any questions? I was reading through some of the comments over there. I think it was Brittany or somebody caught me with the redundancy department. I thought that was funny. So does anybody have any questions or anything that, you would like me to elaborate on or help explain? Everybody good? Everybody happy Monday, Tuesday, whatever day it is? Yeah.
Thank you for being with us. We really do appreciate it. Like, some of it, I mean, I'm a caveman, so like sometimes I'm like, oh, that, it takes me like a couple times to hear, be like, that's what that means. But I honestly feel like my brain is wanting to work smarter and not harder. And I just feel like these sessions, and specifically working one-on-one with you, has helped me work smarter and be able to like not guess at this, because I think there are some people who are like, what if no one joins me? And they're being a chronic coach and they're on their phone all the time. I don't feel that way. I really do feel like what I'm putting out there is being seen, and like all this traffic is coming, and I just am really grateful. So thank you so much for helping us, and you can log yourself off. Everybody else stay back or stay on.
All right. Enjoy and happy selling, everybody. See you next month.
He's so cute. Oh my gosh. It's so cute because he like has seen me do this for 5 years, and I think he's in awe of what's going on, but it's like helping him understand also what it is that we do, just as much as he helps us understand what he does. A couple of things. One, you're amazing. And I'm just so grateful to partner with you and be in this with you. I just think what we stand for is so incredible. And if you're a new coach on here, take a deep breath. Like, you don't need to know everything. That's something I hear regularly in my personal development, is that you don't need to know everything to start. Just start, right? I've been having some conversations. All of my conversations this month have been only about coaching. And I'm going to throw that out there. It has been only coaching, but you have to understand coaching comes with a lifestyle. I'm going to really encourage all of you not to use the word discount, to try to lessen what you have so people will join. Something Kim and I have been talking about is that we talk so much about self-care. Do you feel this way, that as soon as someone becomes a coach, then you want to talk business and you feel like it's really awkward? Like, you don't know how to make that transition because everything was about self-care and fitness and nutrition. Am I alone in this? That like, how do I get a working coach, right? And then it's like all we're talking about is the self-care. Our business is 100% on self-care, but at the same time, I don't want Morgan Schaefer, me to check in with Morgan Schaefer and be like, did you get your workout done? When I check in with Morgan Schaefer, I want to be like, how can I help you lead? Or like, how can I help you do this, maximize your income, right? Because I stand for two major things. This is something Kim and I have been talking about too. Two major things I stand for as a mentor. And I want you to stand for some things as well. I don't stand for, I want to share recipes with people. That's great, but that's not my goal with you. My goal with you is to help you find fulfillment in everyday life. I think there is a difference between success and fulfillment. I think you can see people who look massively successful, but they're not fulfilled in life. I don't want that. I want a tribe who feels fulfilled every single day, that to when you get to wherever you want to go with your vision, it's just the icing on the cake. That you don't have to get somewhere in order to be fulfilled. Because let me tell you, you won't be. I've walked that. I thought that, elite would make me feel a certain way. Diamond would make me feel a certain way. And it never did. However, once I've been working on myself and realizing, oh my gosh, anytime a coach is added to our team, I just feel so excited about that because I just know what this is offering them. It's not offering them a discount. I don't need to bribe anyone because this is not bribery. This is life-changing. And so when I see a coach added to our team that's not from me, I feel like I added them. I get so excited when I see a transformation on our team. I'm so excited when I get a laugh with Eric. I'm so happy, right? Like I want to help you find fulfillment in everyday life, but I want you to not stay there. I want you to continue to work and grow through things, right? And so that's number one, what I want to do as a leader and mentor. Number two is help you maximize this compensation plan. That is like my deepest desire besides you finding fulfillment in everyday life. So the way I'm going to operate, the way I'm going to lead, the way I'm going to talk, the way I'm going to do whatever is those two things. Are you finding fulfillment in everyday life? I don't want you just to go work so hard, feel so exhausted, go to bed and just do it all over again. I want you to honestly go to bed at night being like, I am so grateful for the life that I get to live. Like I'm so grateful for the people in my life. I'm so grateful for the impact that I get to make. I'm so grateful for the conversations I get to have. Instead of feeling so focused and driven on the frustration that no one is joining you, that people are ghosting you, like that is wasted energy, to be honest. But I swear when you just switch it in your head, it becomes massively different. And so, and then on your way to your vision and whatever that looks like. So all of my conversations this month, all the share cards I have out right now are all for coaching. And it's not because it's on a discount. It is coach to self, coach to others, but I've been talking about, I'm a mentor. You guys are all, you're all business owners. I'm talking about how I'm a business owner. I've been talking about Beachbody. I've been talking about how I partner with them. I'm backed up by them. They back us up, right? We don't have to deal with any packaging. We don't have to deal with any returns. We don't have to deal with any payrolls. We don't have to deal with any compensation plan. It's just there. We don't have to deal with refunds. We don't have to do any of that. And all of my friends who are business owners here have to do all of that plus legal battles. We have a lawyer for Beachbody who kicks major ass, by the way. His name is Jonathan, and he's amazing. Like, he has so got our back. Like, he's incredible. And I'm like, I'm really grateful I don't have to do that. I'm grateful I'm backed up by an incredible company that does that for me, but I'm the face of my own business. I don't work for Beachbody. I am me. I brand me. I share my story. I am a business owner. I am a mentor. I'm on my way somewhere. And sometimes we think we're a fraud. Sometimes we think we're not relatable. Sometimes we think we should be making more in order to be relatable. I'm telling you what, people follow people who feel happy. People, what is it? Kim and I were also talking, like, people don't want to join complainers. People don't want to join people who look at the glass half empty. People want to join people who are going somewhere and who show up. On our Q&A yesterday, there's a picture I posted in the Coach Club. It literally made me cry thinking about it. And I know some of you were there. I was in the car. I stepped away from dinner with my family. But what I had told the crew, I was like, I had told them that I told my family, hey, I have a call. And I told them a couple days before. I told them the morning of. I told them whatever. And here I am in my car doing a Zoom because that's my commitment. And they all finished dinner without me. We were all out. And this is all of them waiting for me. Isn't that the cutest picture you've ever seen? Like, they were all just there, like, waiting. And like, they're like, we just want to take a picture, like, whatever. And I'm just finishing up this call with the team yesterday. And I just go, this is so freaking full circle because we celebrated 5 years in this business 2 days ago. And we went out and our mom's got the biggest fishbowl you've ever seen in your life. And if you're not from Wisconsin, a fishbowl is a thing of a fishbowl filled with alcohol. And we got that here in California. Eric had a double straw. He was sipping out of 2 straws. They were all feeling themselves. And we were celebrating. And I'm like, we didn't do that year 1. We didn't do that year 2. Didn't do that year 3. Didn't do that year 4. It has taken 5 years for our family to be like, let's go celebrate your business. Isn't that amazing? It just took major time and trust. But the thing is they've seen me probably get on 500 Zoom calls. They've seen me post on social media every single day. And on that call yesterday, Laura said, Julianne, it was so annoying to see how consistent you were. There she is showing up again. There she is posting again every single day, sharing her story. What if no one joins me? That was never the question I asked myself, because it wasn't about what I could get. It was about what I could give. And I knew if I didn't show up, someone missed out. So you have to ask yourself better questions. I don't post for the approval of others. I don't post to see what I can get from that post. I post genuinely my story. I'm blunt, I'm honest, I'm transparent, and I'm authentic, right? And in my conversations, I don't focus on who's ghosting, who's saying no, who's unfriending and blocking. I'm not focusing on that. I'm not focusing on every single conversation I have. Will this turn into ... I'm just like, I just know vital behaviors to have more conversations. So I have them. And then I create massive value, right? So Laura said, here she is, she wouldn't stop. She just posts every day. And then it's just like, I was just in the back of her mind, right? And then I think it was Brittany who said that I was really inspiring because I just show up. And I'm like, man, if my team thinks that, I can't imagine all the people who are just watching me and not saying anything yet because they're not ready. But here's the deal. They will be one day. And I'm not going anywhere. And I'm just going to share, and work on myself and get better. So I just appreciate all of you so much. And I just want you to know my heart in this. My 2 goals with you, just as much as I share. This is another thing too. I like talk about this. Y'all drive me crazy who say like, life's overwhelming. That's a word you're choosing for yourself. You don't have to identify with overwhelm. Be overwhelmed in joy and overwhelmed with Jesus. How about that? Like, be overwhelmed with something good versus something bad, right? Can I get an amen on that? Come on. Like, we're all busy. Like, I get it. Life is hard. You guys, if you could feel my body right now, like if we could trade spots, I wish we could, because freaking knives. Like, it's hard to talk to you right now in my sides. But whatever. Like, life, there's so many great things to be grateful for, right? I could focus on that. Eric probably says you are focusing on that. But right now I'm not. And I just think like we have to get better at thinking better. You are so magnificently blessed to be breathing and just so magnificently blessed to be having something at your fingertips to go somewhere, right? So be overwhelmed in the good, not in the bad. But here's the deal. All y'all who think you, like, my favorite thing in this are, like, specifically teachers who are like, I have a vision in this, but, you know, and I'm like, how do you think I built this effing thing? But with my bathtub? Like, just, like, hanging out? No. Like, I wasn't taking bubble baths and being like, life's busy. I got to work. I built this as an overworked teacher. But I didn't look at myself as an overworked teacher. I just got to work. I didn't feel sorry for myself. I didn't feel overwhelmed with myself because I had vision, massive vision, and I took action and I got there. I put myself out there. I didn't give a flip about what anyone said because my heart was way too set on where I was going. Because no one has the right to tell me, right? Especially all these people who are telling me like, just wait till baby comes. Oh, that's cute. You want to go on vacation. My vacation's already booked to Punta Cana. Like, what? Just go ahead and watch me. That's what I said to them at my baby shower. Go ahead and watch me. Oh, you don't think I'm going to love Wyatt as much? Go ahead and watch me. That's how I feel. That's how I've built this thing. So you busy people, how I've been tracking my business and on Instagram and showing people I have a business, my PD was 8 minutes long. Oh, and that's actually part of my business. It helped me overcome some insecurities too. Weird. Oh, I had a 30-minute workout. Oh, it's part of my business too, to work out and get in the best shape of my life. That's kind of awesome. It was 30 minutes. I don't know about you. I keep saying this. Do any of your gyms that you belong to pay you back your money of your membership? Anyone? Pretty awesome rebates. BOD does that. We get that with Beachbody. Instead of, oh, I need to cancel my Shakeology, money's tight. Well, one, do you even know what's in Shakeology? Because you wouldn't. Two, why are you thinking that way? I never thought that way. If money was tight, which it was, I was like, I better go help 3 people so I can keep my Shakeology. I better go help 3 people, so I'm going to go help another 3 people. So not only am I paying for my Shakeology, I'm making profit. I never thought to the scarcity. I never thought to the, I better cancel, life's a little crazy right now. I was like, you know what? Nothing changes if nothing changes. Money's always going to be tight. Your schedule's always going to be crazy. There is never going to be a perfect time if you continue to think like that. Right? Am I right? So I just wanted to share that with you because those are kinds of some things that have been going through my head now that we've celebrated 5 years of this. No one is luckier than you. I guess the quote is, the harder you work, the luckier you get. But I don't think hard work is attached to a time frame. I think hard work is attached to a type of mindset, right? I think people can efficiently work this business in an hour versus 12. You just have to get good at not chronic coaching. You have to turn off your notifications. You know me, I'm probably not going to get back to your text till 2 days from now. Like, that's just what's going to happen. I'm not going to answer your messages. Some of you are like, I'm getting to you a week later. I get to you a week later. I'm not putting that pressure on myself. I'll get to it when I get to it because I run my life. I schedule what I want to schedule. I don't want to be a slave to my phone and my notifications. And lastly, when I'm in the coach collab and I see it's been seen by 96 people and 0 people comment on it, and these people, you're telling me that you're busy. I'm like, okay, so you're busy with busy work. So you're clearly on social media, but you're not doing anything about it. You're just scrolling. That's the problem. Fine, don't respond to a post. Fine, don't participate in the coach collab, but don't tell me you don't have time for this. Because if you've seen the post, that means you're on social media. I'm not like in any way mad right now. I'm just trying to give you gut checks of like, oh shit, yep. I'm one of those people who's saying I don't have time, and yet I'm scrolling. I know about everybody else. Instead of knowing about everybody else, how about you know yourself best? How about instead of being in everybody else's business, seeing what all these other coaches are doing, how about you build your empire? Because you deserve it. And sometimes we don't think that. I'm just saying. Anyway, I love you all very much. And I've got your back. And I think what's really good about being in this 5 years is that people have taken my bluntness as hurt and an excuse or as a way of like, you have wrong intentions, but the right people stay. You can never say the wrong thing to the right person. I really do believe that. And I believe the way I lead is with gut checks and reality because I know where you can go with this. And being pushy about someone's dreams and visions is not a bad thing. You being pushy about how much you love this is not a bad thing. And sometimes we need to get that out of our head. You are not selling Beachbody. You are showing a lifestyle that will change someone's life. Get over yourself and make it happen if you say you want to make it happen. I think that's the last thing is like, so many people say they want this, but they're not willing to do the uncomfortable thing. They're waiting for themselves to feel more confident, more competent, and have all the answers and have the perfect response, have the perfect invite without actually just doing it. When you do it, you get better. You get so much better. I love you all very much. It's so hard to talk.